Hello and welcome to today's episode of 2 Deep Podcast. I am your host Adonis, and we are going to be talking about the edge, the push that you will finally need to do something with your life today. And we are also going to be talking about self-acceptance and one of the biggest tools that Iana has found that is helping her with that journey. So
stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the 2 Deep Podcast. I am your host Adonis Barrera, and I am joined as always by the lovely and sensational Iana Giselle Backlit Alhambra.
Hey everybody.
How you doing today, Iana?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Let's go.
You guys don't always see it, but it takes a lot of focus and concentration to get on these podcasts because you want to make sure you're in the right mindset and the right frame of mind to express and convey the feelings, the emotions, and the mindset it takes to come out of whatever it is we want you to come out of. Because it's not always so easy. You know, I know it firsthand how tough it is to get out from a slump. And it seems like it's forever and it's draining.
Yeah.
And sometimes it only takes just a couple small decisions and actions to come out of that.
Yeah.
And that's why it takes a little bit of a process to, first of all, get in that mindset, to come and speak to you guys, to then transmit that, and hopefully you would be able to do the same.
Right. Just like the intention behind every little decision, because it does add up. And as much as we try not to let all those little decisions stack up, like at the end of the day, they do. Yeah. Like the difference between my morning routine yesterday and my morning routine this morning was enough for me to be able to notice the difference at work. And I was like, ooh, like going through it yesterday, but I was just moving through the motions passively, but still making that effort to like, okay, I can get ahead exactly. Without like being able to really get ahead. And then this morning, because I was like, okay, I can't work out, but like I don't have enough time to work out, but I do have time to make breakfast. So let me have the 10 minutes of, instead of working out, I'd rather put together my meals so that I can fuel myself throughout the day. So I don't have to buy food that's going to make me even more worse off than I started. And then that actually did help me. And even though like eating healthier makes me hungrier, that was more than enough for me to be able to sustain me throughout my workday and like still be able to focus on like whatever work or attention or socially effort that I had to put into today.
Exactly. Yeah, it just takes those small little moments of deciding, all right, even though I could do all of this and even though I feel like I might have all the time in the world, but let me actually do this one thing of starting to prep my food for the day.
Yes.
So, and then that literally just starts to build the momentum.
Exactly.
And on today's topic, I really want to get into, and Iana doesn't even know, but she kind of has an idea because of the video we just watched, is this attitude of going all in on your life. I don't want to speak insensitively, but our days on this earth are numbered, right? Yes. We do not know when our last day will be. And because of that, I've thought about that, a few years ago. And for whatever reason, in the past couple of years, I've forgotten about it, right? I forgot about that type of mentality. And it's not morbid. It's not, depressing. Because when you have that mindset, it's about okay, if when I wake up today, if today was my last day, how would I have wished I had spent it? And it really guides you on what things are actually important to you. Like if it was your last day today, you would not be thinking about your coworkers and how you have some beef with them,
No.
right? You'd be thinking about what impact could I make? Who could I reach out to that I haven't reached out to?
Yeah.
What type of mark would I want to leave? Like if today was the last day,
Right.
I'd, you know, I'd wish that I had done this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Like if, for instance, for myself, if today was my last day, I would have been so glad that I did this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if someone had to go find this recording
Yeah.
and maybe not even edit it or tune it out,
Yeah.
but I would have loved that would have been there and that I've actually put hands on it, that I've taken this seriously and concentrated and focused on it. And even though I was afraid of what other people might think, I am so happy that I put myself through it when I could have easily just been chilling. I mean, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, I could have been chilling. I worked out already,
Yeah.
ate a good dinner.
Yeah.
Man, I could have just been watching my favorite show.
Yeah.
I could have been maybe out playing some more soccer.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things I could have done. But instead, I am here recording the podcast. Why? Because even though, when you first start out something, it's exciting, right? But this is our 31st episode.
I know.
And it's not a drain and it's not anything like that.
Right.
But when it is time to do the podcast, like it's that hour to record, setting up, making sure everything looks decent. And I know I still have a long way to go on making this look and sound professional. But the mere fact that I am doing what I've wanted to for so long.
Right.
I've always told Iana that, man, it's always inspired me, listening to people, their speech, the way they talk,
Yes.
the way they use their words, and the way they're able to uplift you without even knowing you
Yeah.
is amazing to me.
Right.
And that's why I've made this podcast too, is because I love the fact that even if it's just a 10-second sound bite that someone can take and run with, and that could uplift them, empower them, move them to do something,
Right.
is just everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the knowing that you are making a difference in someone's life.
Exactly.
And I love how transparent you are being right now, because I just made a really short video on being so conflicted on having my 9 to 5 and then wanting to be where the other women that are on YouTube and like they dedicate their whole life to not a 9 to 5, but content creation and uploading, whether it's like life coaching or a day in the life. And this is like how people live. And this is their 24/7. Like they don't have to split their brain between the 9 to 5 and the life that they're creating.
Right.
They're already living the life that they're creating.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful that like they get to do that.
Yeah.
For me, because I know where I am, I'm on this journey of understanding and accepting where I am in the moment. And right now, my journey looks like my 9 to 5, which I'm also grateful that it's really not 9 to 5. It's 10 to 6:30. I have my whole morning to be able to record as much as I could before I even go into work.
Right.
And then still have time after work to do more or edit and stuff like that. But I was just so conflicted because I was like, I like having the structure of a 9 to 5. I like having the stability of a 9 to 5. I like having insurance and other things that like will take care of whatever health and all that jazz and all the benefits of like this one job.
Right.
But at the same time, I have so much content that I want to create and so many, like my own program that I want to build and all of these desires. But am I really making moves? Is the
Right.
thing. Am I really taking the time outside of my 9 to 5 to pour into my side hustle or my whatever?
Exactly.
And it really boils down to the intention behind every moment that you're blessed with
Exactly.
and seeing it as a blessing, like wherever you are. Like, I'm so grateful that you grounded me back into where you are is where you're supposed to be. So be in the moment and
Right.
put your full intention in that moment where you are.
1,000%.
And
Yep.
I was like, yes, like, let me stop thinking about, okay, when am I going to edit? When am I going to do this? When am I going to do that?
Right.
No, you're at work. Like, focus on the spreadsheet right in front of you and
Yeah.
worry about nothing else but that.
Exactly.
So just recognizing it and then like having that level of appreciation and gratitude will bring you back up to at least stability if you are in that dark moment. Because the reflection, for me at least, the reflection period is the crucial point of, am I going to stay down in the dumps or am I going to do something about it?
Right.
So
Perfect. And I want to go back to that point that you said, even though I don't want to be doing the spreadsheet right now,
Yeah.
and I want to be creating and I want to be using more of my blessings and my gifts that I've been given,
yes.
it's important to do that so well and effectively, like put your whole attention on that spreadsheet,
Yes.
because the quicker and more efficient, because you don't want to just rush it either. So
Right.
to the point where they'd have to make you do it again.
Yeah.
But it's one and done. So as effectively and quickly as you can, get that done.
Yes.
So that way, and get all your tasks done that you might not love doing, that you don't feel that this is your purpose,
Right.
so that you do have that brain power and that energy and that stamina left to go after and pursue
Yes.
those projects that do use your blessings, that do
Yes.
use your gifts. And that's part of the mindset of, what if this is my last day today, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say quit your job today if that's not what you want to be doing,
Right.
right? I know there's a saying where it's, live as if this is your last day, but plan as if you have years left.
I love that.
That way, on these days, you know exactly what you're going to do,
Yep.
but you don't act like you have all that time. Each day you're going to go at it because you don't know if this is it,
Yes.
right?
I love that. I never even thought of that because in the morning sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In the morning I would think like part of my prayer is, bless me with the strength that I need for this day.
Yeah.
And like that's like the morning prayer. And then in the night, it's like, I'm so grateful that like I had today. But I never think about like, okay, did I use all the strength that I needed for this day? Oh, that's wild.
Exactly. I mean, I'm so glad I've found these videos, those little clips that I showed you, because they literally reminded me of how I used to think.
Yes.
These last few weeks, I swear, I don't swear, I promise you, it's like,
He's sure.
yeah, that if you caught me at a wrong moment at work, I would probably look at you with sad eyes, or here we go, hey, how you doing,
Just like the energy level would
Exactly.
definitely shift.
like you'd notice that energy shift. And I used to not be like that.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time that I was like I saw my goals, and even though I knew they were going to take years to amount to, I felt like I was going to get there. Like,
Yeah.
and how you doing? And I'm blessed, baby. Let's go.
Yes.
But it's been years since I felt like that, because it's hard to maintain that.
It is.
It's hard to maintain that just for a week.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I can do it for a day,
Yeah.
and for moments at that.
Yeah.
But to do that on a consistent level, that's when you actually start to attain the things that you've been wanting to attain, is when you have that energy.
Right.
Because you as the listener, you have the gifts, you have the blessings, you have the intelligence and the grit, you have it all. The only difference is where is your energy at? Because when you think about, if this was my last day today, your energy completely shifts.
Yep.
It's no longer a question of, man, I had a hard day at work, I want to take a break because I'm tired. If you knew that you only had hours left, you would come in so hot. Like, anything and everything that you've been wanting to do, you would try and knock it out. If you wanted to make a YouTube video, you'd make it. If you wanted to create a podcast, you'd make it, and you wouldn't be worried about what they're gonna say and you know what they're gonna think about it, because who cares?
Right.
Once I'm gone, I don't. I remember once Yana told me, and I hope I'm not sharing too much,
It's okay.
but like, I think it's because I don't know if you watched something or someone asked you, or there was a recent funeral or something, but she asked me, like, how much would you care about, how many people go, or do you think about who would go to your funeral, something like that.
Yeah.
And I told her, man, no one could show up to my funeral. I don't care what they had to say about me. Like, what I care about, if I knew that I was going to die tomorrow, if I knew I was going to die tomorrow, and I want to be sensitive, I'm not going to care about how people thought about me. I don't care about how people felt about me. The only thing I care about, did I leave my mom in the best way possible? My dad, my sister. Like, did I give them what I would have wanted to give them before I go? I'm not going to be thinking, I really hope they thought about me in a positive light, even though I didn't do this or that. Like, I wish I amounted to this, so at least they could have said, Adonis was a great doctor. He was a great lawyer. I'm going to be thinking about, could I have made my mom laugh one more time? Could I have imparted a little bit more wisdom to my little sister one more time? Could I have shown up for my family one more time? Could I have shown up for my soccer team? It was that last game the best last game I could have gave them? You know what I mean? In that last workout that I had, could I have given a little bit more? Like, of course, if tomorrow was my last, or tonight, like, I would have regretted not going to see Barcelona, not going to Tokyo. I mean, some things are just in the moment, in the current stages, they're out of reach. So the things that I could have done, the people I could have touched, the videos I could have put out, the audio clips that I could have shared, did I do that? Was I there? Was I present? And I know it sounds like a little bit morbid, and like I said, I want to be sensitive, but I just want you guys to get this within you, because when I heard that, and I first heard it from E.T. Eric Thomas, when I first heard that, man, a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, man, I can't keep feeling sorry for myself. I can't keep thinking I'm like this or that. Because even if I am, so what? What am I gonna do with my life? Even if I do have those weaknesses that other people say I might have, or those limitations other people think I have. But one of the things that I do love that Iana started doing is that you started posting those videos that you've been wanting to put. And I know in your group, in your circle, they've been inspiring others to do the same. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
This week that I was working on with my therapist was like the whole thing that we've been talking about was my journey with like self-acceptance
Yeah.
because I'm the exact same person with every single person that I'm with one-on-one.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put me in a room with all those people in the exact same room, I have a brain fart. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to act. I don't know what to be. Like, if I'm not in my high eye and like smooshing or like whatever that word is, like all over the place and just like being hospitable and making people feel at home and like making them feel valued because I am talking to them and making sure that they're good. If I'm not in that mentality, then I just don't know how to act or be.
Right.
And so with my immediate circle, with my accountability group, at work, at home, like wherever I am, I'm very intentional about being the same person. But there are times where I'm so focused on being that same person that I don't know how to naturally flow in my comfortable state. And so because I'm working on my self-acceptance, I started the 75-day challenge from the end of the 75 days out until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And the real challenge that I was not trying to say to anybody, but I'm sharing now, is I created an Instagram, put it on private, and my intention is to post every single day, whether it's a tiny talk, whether it's a morning routine, whether it's a get ready with me, whether it's me reflecting on life coaching or whatever, or just like whatever part of my journey that I want to share for that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it could be from like 20 seconds to like 2.5 minutes or something like that. I'm trying not to do anything like longer than that, but at the same time, like it really just depends. Like this 75 days is about reflection, but it's also about me pouring into myself daily.
Yeah.
And showing up for myself in the way that I need it. So yesterday, I wasn't feeling the recording. I was not intentional about waking up early to do some content creation or anything like that. But I caught up with myself in the afternoon. And when Adonis and I like went on like our weekday date or whatever, we ended up dancing in like the parking lot. And I got that because that filled my cup that day.
Nice.
And that learning a new dance, like just allowing myself to not be a perfectionist and allowing myself to just get out of my comfort zone. And it's okay to look stupid once, Iana. Like, you're fine. You're not going to die if you don't look prim and proper and perfect all the time. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And so that was like, that's what I shared. That's what I posted.
Nice.
I'm grateful because during my accountability call today, I was able to share with them that like this posting and this private account and everything, that's for me. Like I'm doing this for me so that I can hold myself accountable and I don't have to have the pressure of what are they going to think?
Right.
What are they going to say? Why didn't anyone like it? Why do I not have any views? And like all the constant judging, negative. Like, no, that is the opposite of what I'm trying to do with this project.
Yeah.
And seeing how I like to, seeing if I even like the process of recording and setting up the camera, and if I want to get into lighting or if I want to get into like microphones and everything and voiceovers and editing. Yes. Oh my gosh, editing. This is a side note, but editing is a lot more, how do I even say that? A lot more brain power and a lot more energy than I thought it would have ever been, because I would start at like, sometimes I would start at like 9:30 and end at like 12:30. Like it's a solid like 3 hours, and it's just like 12, like you're cutting down like a 19-minute video all the way down to like 30 seconds maybe.
Exactly.
And even then, like, is the music right? Are you allowed to use this music? Like, do you have credit? It's a lot. So I like give so much props to all the people that like put so much time and energy into the video and content creation and everything and keeping up with it. Like,
yeah,
that's where I was saying, like, I have a new appreciation for my 9 to 5, but I also have a new appreciation for the content creation life.
Yeah.
Because it really is like, I have so, like I said, I have so many ideas, but
Yes.
putting it all out there and like seeing where it goes is like, I just need to start creating and putting out. Like, that's really what it is. And when I'm ready, if I'm ever ready, which I will be,
I'm ready.
but when I'm ready, I will make my account more public so that other people can find it. Because I just realized, like, you guys probably can't find the Too Deep podcast Facebook group because my account is private. So I need to double check that. But I'm sorry if you guys are like in like limbo because you can't find it.
Right.
But hit us up on Instagram. So
Yeah, exactly. But man, I love that. The first thing, because I have a list of the things that you said. The first thing was the dance. It's not really so much a dance, but it was like
a tutorial,
like a foot shuffle.
Footwork
that looks like you're almost like
floating.
Yeah. It's so dope. Man, we spend so much time in there. Maybe we'll post something or some like. But and then the second thing is the editing. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a new skill.
Yes.
So all new skills take time.
Yes.
The way you're doing this thing, I already know by the end of the 75, your editing skills are gonna be a lot better and a lot faster. Is what I'm trying to say. Because they're already very good, but the faster piece, like you'll be able to see things a lot quicker and all that.
Yeah.
And I get it because I'm working on the same thing. You know, I've been creating clips here and there, especially with the 2D podcast. It's really helped me be a little more consistent.
Yeah.
And the final thing was how this challenge that you made for yourself. Huge props, by the way. I mean, it's awesome. Like I said, like the people that have seen and heard Yana talk about this, it's like a light bulb went off in their heads. Like, oh yeah, making it private, but I still get to post. It's genius. Because then you take off all the pressure of what are people going to say? What are people going to think? I don't even want to deal with that. I just want to create and post.
Yeah.
And that builds up also the skill at the same time. And what I really liked about what you said is that it gave you a new appreciation, not only for content creation,
right,
but also for your job.
Yeah.
Bro, when you start to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, because it's uncomfortable, it's fun. You know, it's fun recording yourself, seeing it back. And sometimes editing is fun too, but it's uncomfortable too. Like it sounds cool to make videos for YouTube, but then you think about putting a camera in your face in front of other people, speaking to a camera and looking like you're crazy. Like, why is he there talking to himself in the camera? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then it gives you a new appreciation of all the other things that you took for granted or you just started seeing as like, something there. For instance, like, first of all, the stability that your job provides, the relationships. This is the biggest one for me, honestly, is the relationships that you build while you go to work.
Yeah.
Because if you were just a solo content creator, yeah, you'd meet other people, you know, because of the nature of the job.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're talking to them every single day.
Exactly.
And over here at your 9 to 5 or 10 to 6,
yeah,
you build those relationships that you'll probably carry for the rest of your life, like the really good ones anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just like coworkers. It's the kids that I'm impacting when they get older. It's the staff that I've hired or not hired or like whatever. And like the relationships in the community that I've built, the other departments that I've like made friends with, and like there's a whole network.
It's the best. Yeah, that's so true, man. When you, especially, you're not even a teacher.
Right.
But just a after school
program coordinator.
program coordinator.
Yeah.
But you see these kids every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are days where you might not have seen a kid for a couple of years.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, Miss Iana.
Yeah.
You know?
And like they actually want to say hi instead of like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, she's coming.
No,
Yeah.
no, unless they're one of the snots.
Yeah.
Because I promise you,
Teenagers are teenagers.
as soon as they hit those middle school ages, I'm talking like I have a freaking kid, but I don't. But there's this side note. There's this kid that we used to play soccer every day. Every day we would play soccer because I used to work the later shift.
Yeah.
And then Iana would have her group go to the gym and either play basketball. And if there was no one in there,
They'd stay later.
they'd stay and then they'd play soccer
Yeah.
because a lot of kids loved it. And so then I started going there and started playing with them. And I'd play with these kids pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And then, they got to middle school, so they stopped going to the teen center.
Yeah.
And then
Got too cool.
got too cool. And like 3 months in, after I finally see them, after the school started,
Yeah.
after 3 months, and I'll be like, hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Made up name, but
Yeah.
hey, Joe, what's going on? I mean, they
Oh
just
my
give me like a blank stare, and I'm
Yeah.
like, bruh, you gotta be kidding
Yeah.
me, you little snot. And I literally said, oh, so that's how it's gonna be. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't until his other friends started saying, oh, Adonis, what's going on? And he was like, what's up?
Oh my gosh.
A little bum.
Yeah.
Trying to be cool, but I get it, middle school, but man.
Just punks. They're all punks.
They're all-
Like even if they don't mean to be or whatever, like I think one of the staff members just said like it was the sweetest girl in 6th grade.
Oh,
Saw her this year, so now in 7th grade, and she was like mocking one of the gym monitors or whatever. Like the gym monitor was so nice. She was like, hey, just want to let you know, like you can't eat in the gym, but you can eat like out here. So like that's fine.
Yeah.
As soon as she turns around, she's like, or
oh.
whatever, mocking her, and I caught it. Or yeah, I think it was her. Yeah, I caught her, and she was like, hey, no. That's not what we're doing. And she was like, oh, sorry. No, don't try to be cute now. Like, what are you
Oh.
talking about? You just got caught. Like,
Yeah.
but again, teenagers are teenagers. And I understand, but you just have to learn how to like play with it. Like,
Yeah.
when is too far, too far?
Yeah.
Like, if you're outright being disrespectful, nah.
Yeah.
But if you're about to level with us and
Yeah.
understand, like, this is the place to make those mistakes and do better the next time.
Exactly.
But if you're just outright being disrespectful, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
Because I don't have any energy for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, come
But-
back when you're ready.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always it's because you're hitting those years of adolescence and becoming something
course,
you
yeah.
weren't before.
Yeah.
But yeah. At least they grow out of it.
Yeah.
What's it called? I do love the going back to your videos though and creating, and the piece on self-acceptance. I already know that you filming yourself, even if you're not directly talking to the camera, and you do still, but just the mere fact that you do that, you do start to become a little more comfortable in your skin. Because there's nothing more awkward than trying to be yourself in front of a camera.
Yes.
Whether it be a phone, actual camera, or whatever.
Right.
Because as soon as you start to hit that record button, you like freeze up and tense up. It's like, how do I become Iana?
Yeah, exactly. Or even just recording us. Like, for the longest time before we started this podcast, I hated how I sounded
Yeah.
on
That's
any
not true.
recording.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It sounds so weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, excuse you, who the heck is this person?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? But that on the recording is how you actually sound. Like, you've
Right.
never heard yourself outside of your own
Yeah.
head.
You really think you sound so sweet.
Right.
And then you listen.
You sound like this or whatever. But no. So, yeah, it definitely is like learning how to become more of myself.
Exactly.
And this is like a real side note too, but when I
So I'm Filipino, and you know how Americans have like sweet 16s and like Latino countries, they have like quinceañeras. Yeah. So Filipinos have debuts, and that's when they're 18. So then when they turn, when they become a woman and a woman. And when I had mine, my theme was a butterfly.
Oh.
And I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
Like my parents like came up with it, and like they're just so good at like party planning and coming up with themes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, like I feel like I am becoming like a little butterfly. Like I am like all over the place, but like I'm just coming out of my shell. But of course, like life happens, especially when you're 18. Like you're literally no longer a teen. You are an adult.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you're just like growing into who you are.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is like just like another transition process. And I've been saying that since like the end of summer, like fall, transition, like blah, blah, blah. And I think even Club Phoenix, like where I work, the symbol of a phoenix is that transformative process going from like a child to like a teen, like an adolescent, or like you're not an adult, but you're not a teen. You're in that in between, but you're in that in between for like years.
Yeah.
So it's just like the in betweens and the transition processes are like crucial. And I think the self-acceptance part is like, there are so many more stages that I did not realize there are in adulthood. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and like people don't like talk about it.
Right.
And so what I also like learned to appreciate about the
5.
Yes, thank you. The 75-day challenge that I'm doing is I appreciate and I'm grateful that I have this platform. Even though I'm not sharing it with anyone, I'm learning to, one, be an example of what it really is like to have a 9-to-5 and also try to be a content creator while also being like first/second generation American, like all these different transition processes. And like I just turned 29. So that in itself, like the age in itself is like a whole transformative process. But it's like, how does the day look when you're trying not to start over? You're just trying to keep going, you know?
Right.
So like that's kind of where my perspective is and where I'm trying to shed light, because I am having a hard time looking for like, what do other Filipinos look like that are in the education system or in doing a 9-to-5, but also trying to get their lives together, but also trying to provide for their family and like all these things. It's like, oh, okay, like this is what it looks like. I don't see that anywhere. So I'm grateful that like I'm taking that step to want to be there so that I can help other people.
Exactly. I love it though. And it is a transition. Like we're always changing. We're not the same that we were last week.
Exactly.
You know, there's always change. Sometimes we even change back a little bit into what we were a few years ago.
Yes.
Which is not always a bad thing. Like I said, I had that mentality like this, like I don't have, my life isn't guaranteed, right? I'm a person of faith and I know how fragile human lives are.
Yes.
Like it tells us you do not know when your day is coming.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared. And what does that mean? You have to make sense out of that. You have to know, like, if I'm gone today, you know.
Did I fulfill everything that was supposed to be written next to my name?
And I would be upset
Yeah.
if I was thinking about like what you said. I would be upset if I knew these were my last hours and I was still trying to accept myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of like branching out, doing this, doing that. Like I wouldn't have been upset if I was like making progress, because then at least I knew I gave it my all.
Yeah.
But I would have been upset if I accepted that of, you know, like I'm always going to be awkward in front of other people. I'm always going to be, when everyone is doing their thing, I'm always going to be the last one in place. You know, I'm always going to be at this job and I'm not going to see a way out. Like I would have been so heated with myself. Les Brown once said, if you knew you had the opportunity to do your life over again,
Yeah.
how many of you think you would get further along than you are right now? And in the crowd that he was speaking to, everyone raised their hand.
Wow.
And he said, that goes to show that there is more in you
Then you were giving.
than you are giving, that you believe that you have.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference between you starting over and you starting right now?
Yeah.
Like, just time.
That's so
all
good.
the information, the skills, the abilities and capabilities and the blessings and the gifts, you have it already.
Yeah. Exactly.
So stop waiting, accept yourself. And it takes time, but you can do it. You could start. I mean, even if you don't post it, even if it's on your phone for like 10 minutes after you make a video and you delete it, make a video of yourself. Talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Like we all have phones that have that ability now. And why not just do it in front of a mirror? Because in a mirror, you're not going to be serious. We just talked about how the camera adds that tension. It literally it literally pulls something out of you to actually speak in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Talk about what it is that you want. Talk about what it is that you do have.
Yeah.
Don't play small with the blessings and gifts that you have just because you think they're, like insignificant. You don't know that. You don't know that. People make a killing financially off of their ability to draw, off of their ability to speak in
Right.
terms of voiceovers for cartoon.
Yeah.
You don't know where your gift is going to lead.
Yeah.
Like just because you don't think that reading at and your love for reading isn't going to get you anywhere. You don't know that.
Yeah.
Like you could either be making your own book. You could either be
reading scripts. Like, who knows?
Who knows,
Yeah.
bruh? But like what I'm saying is, with all this, is do you. Like if you have an interest, put pencil to paper.
Yes.
Like don't wait for
Right.
someone to affirm you and say, Yana, I think you really do speak with clarity. You should start making videos. Like don't wait for that. You'll wait your whole life
Yeah.
for that permission.
Like you be the person that gives yourself the permission to do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because literally everything that you need is already within you. And if you think, I don't know, this is just so weird because this is like the weirdest thing. I'm on this like self-acceptance like journey.
Yeah.
And when I know myself, clearly you can hear the difference in the tone in my voice. Like, yes, you got it together, keep going,
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm just like the first half of this podcast episode, you can see the difference in like my energy. It's just like not really there. And it's like trying to calculate, okay, what's my next move? What am I about to say? Like whatever, just nervousness.
Yeah.
And when you know that you're in that state of being open to the flow, and I'm sure if you've been on this self-development journey, you will constantly hear the open to the flow like type of phrases.
Yeah.
And it's really just taking a deep breath and allowing whatever opportunities are for you to come to you.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
that's the part of accepting like, okay, I don't need to be nervous. I don't need to be like rough and hard and like a wall right now.
Yeah.
Drop the shoulders, soften your heart. It's okay.
Yeah.
As cheesy as it sounds, you have to tell yourself that it's okay.
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself that like, I am open to receiving this. And you are going to feel resistance because you have not told yourself this yet.
Yeah.
But until you continuously tell yourself and start believing that you are open to receiving that opportunity of stepping into you and accepting whatever it is for you, that's how you accept the moment and accept yourself in that moment.
Yes. I had that moment this morning.
Okay.
And I know a lot of you. I know every single one of you that listen to our podcast as a person of faith. You know, we might have different perspectives, but
Yeah.
person of faith is who we are. And while speaking with the Creator, one of the things that I said was, please allow me to be more open-minded to any idea that you may have, because I cannot do this alone. I can't. I just can't. I don't have that self-belief enough, and I have a strong one.
Yeah.
But there's just so many things that, you just need that next level
Yeah. For sure.
And I loved that I said that,
Yeah.
because it's just like Kiana's saying, that opportunity is literally an idea that God puts in your mind. It's really up to you to either, as soon as you, because you'll have that idea flash in the most random instant. It is up to you whether you think it's a actually serious idea that you should pursue,
Yes.
or if you just think, it's just another great idea, but who am I really? No, I'm not. I'm not really going to pursue it.
That's so wild. That just reminded me of the best point that my therapist told me. When I told her part of my morning prayer is I am open to receiving and aligning myself with whatever God's will is for my life for this day.
Yeah.
And then I say bless me with the strength to get through this day. And when I told her that, she said, it's not your choice, right? And I was like, huh? And she goes, it's not your choice. God's will is going to happen regardless of if you want it or not. So it's God's will. And I was like, I didn't get to say this part, but I was like, yes, God's will always happen. However, am I going to be resistant to God's will? Or am I going to be open and accepting of God's will?
Yeah.
That is the difference.
Yeah.
Just like a parent, you can say, and I'm not a parent, but I can want and wish my children to be kind-hearted and respectful and instill that in them and teach them that. Yeah. But if they're going to be resistant to my teaching and to my guidance in this is how you're supposed to be respectful. You're supposed to listen. You're supposed to nod. You're supposed to be responsive.
Yeah.
If they don't want to do it, I cannot force the horse to drink the water. I can only lead them to the water.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes. And I love that it's true. It is God's will. And whatever God's will is for my life, it will happen in God's timing, however God wants it to fruition or whatever. And then I was like, but the choice, which I'm grateful for, it is a choice. How resistant do I want to be to his teaching and his calling and everything, or how open? How do I want to show up for this moment?
Exactly.
Kicking and screaming because I got to go to school, or I will walk in by myself, by mom.
Exactly. Exactly. And it could be a whole lot smoother for you if you just listen to those thoughts, if you just listen to that guidance.
Exactly.
And I am probably the biggest example of making it a lot harder than it needs to.
No, you're not the worst.
No, because I always want to do it on my own. Just this podcast.
Yes.
The whole idea of the podcast, I wanted to do it by myself. Before I knew that Iana would have loved to do it too. But because I wanted to say that I did it by myself, I listened to myself. I knew best. And I don't. I don't. I had to get humbled fast and easy in one fatal swoop to then knock my head on the counter and be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, I sure could use some help. You know what I mean?
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how we started.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just so true. That's it for the meat and potatoes of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, please, if you love it, please review us.
Yes,
It
please.
help us out a lot. It really does. You know, once you go down to and to the section of rating us,
Mark that review, comment or something. We love the interaction. Like, yes, it might be too much to get onto the Facebook group or whatever is like holding you back. But even just the simple fact of you liking an episode, that gives us more energy and knowledge about our listeners. Okay, maybe we should talk a little bit deeper, more on confidence or more on self-awareness or more on our relationship or whatever it may be. But for now, we're just going with the flow, and wherever God guides us is where we're showing up. So help us help you. Is what we're saying.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. You can find us on our Instagram page at the 2 Deep Pod. That's TOODEEPPOD. Also find us on Facebook, 2 Deep Podcast. Same spiel, just add the CAST at the end.
Yes.
Find me on Instagram, Adonis Barrera, and
Iana Giselle, IANNAGISELLE. That is a private account, but I am more than happy to add my followers.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be following us in order for me to know that you are a follower.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Stay safe, everybody. Bye.